Welcome into the Big Z Sports Extra Point Show, brought to you by the Keim Home Center, live here from Olde Towne Tavern in Tuscarawas, as we are highlighting one of our area teams that we cover, and of course, we'll be doing this week in and week out every Wednesday, as we've come to do each season. Always love getting a little bit deeper insight into some of our area teams. Nick McWilliams, Shannon Thomas, as we'll be here with you throughout today, talking about the Newcomerstown Trojans. And Shannon, Trojans start off on the right foot, 1-0 this season, and given what this team has done in recent years, it should come as no surprise.
Yeah, they've kind of become one of those teams in our area that start racking up wins all of a sudden every season. Years past, they had to go back and rebuild the program, and Dirk Gadd and his staff down there have done a great job, and they're a running football team. You know what they're going to do, and they do it very well.
You say a running football team, but I bet we're going to hear from a quarterback later who says, we can pass too, and the numbers actually back that up. But
yeah, he's got the numbers. He can go to Coach Gadd and say, hey, what are we doing here? Let's throw the ball. But whenever you're getting wins, it don't matter what you do.
Well, I've made this reference before when it comes to Newcomerstown. It's a lot like Remember the Titans with Coach Boone, right, saying, just like Novocaine, give it time and it always works. That's kind of how the playbook goes. It's like, what we're going to do, but good luck stopping us. And that's kind of been the MO for Newcomerstown this season. They are looking ahead to their next matchup coming up on this Friday against the Bellsville Blue Devils. Thankfully for Newcomerstown, they don't have to travel all the way down to Bellsville this year. They get it on home grass.
Yeah, they little home cooking this year, and grass field, and the weather's it's going to be hot, but it's supposed to be beautiful, and the boys will be ready to play.
Oh, we don't have a single doubt about that. So be sure to stay tuned throughout tonight, because we are going to be talking to some of your favorite Trojans players, the players that you see every single Friday night, as well as head coach Dirk Gadd. But coming up here in just a little bit, we'll be starting things off with athletic director Chad Elliott, because I know how many people say it's football season, right? There's a lot of other stuff going on in athletics in high school.
Yeah, and he's a very busy man this time of the year. Everybody else is in fall sports mode, and he's past fall sports.
It's months ahead.
He's already working on winter stuff and spring stuff, and right now he's sitting down there watching all of his athletes and his coach enjoy some good food here at the Olde Towne Tavern.
Well, I see wings, I see pizza, I see pretzels, and I see a lot of happy faces already, and most of that food feels like it's already been demolished. That shouldn't come as a surprise.
Yeah, we probably should have ate before we told them to go ahead and eat what they want, but hey, we'll clean up what's left over.
We'll get scraps. That's okay. We understand it. Stick around with us. Of course, a huge thank you to the Keim Home Center for bringing you the Extra Point shows with Big Z Sports this year, and thank you to Olde Towne Tavern for allowing us to come in here. Get subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. You get notified every single time we go live. Follow us on all our social media platforms and stay up to date with high school sports in Z Country. Stick around when we come back. Athletic Director Chad Elliott for the Trojans. We'll be talking all things Newcomerstown athletics right after this.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Welcome back to Olde Towne Tavern here in Tusky. Big Z Sports bringing you the Extra Point Show, all brought to you by the Keim Home Center. Thanks for tuning in on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to get subscribed. And as promised, as we're talking Newcomerstown Trojan Athletics, we have Athletic Director Chad Elliott now with us. And how's everything going?
It's going good so far. It's been a good start of the school year, and excited to get started.
So one of the things as an athletic director, everybody always thinks about, he's in charge of all of our sports schedules. But what they really don't understand is how much other stuff you're in charge of. You know, you got to make sure all these kids are on the up and up with their medical forms and their grade point averages and volunteers, the booster club. I mean, you're a busy man all year round. I mean, there's got to be just one little week, a window you get to spend doing something else. But other than that, you're a pretty busy man.
Yeah, I stay busy for sure. I like that little break between fall season, winter season, and winter season, spring season. But I like to stay busy. I do have a lot of things that I see day to day, not just the schedules and with busing and making sure our facilities are up, top notch. And so I definitely don't have a lot of idle time during the day.
He says little break. He's talking the 4 days in between season.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
Yep.
We talked about this with you before. Great stuff going on at Newcomerstown, of course. You guys, not that long ago, just got that nice state-of-the-art facility built. For anybody who hasn't seen that somehow, especially from the Newcomerstown community, I don't know how they wouldn't have. But run us through a little bit about that build and that process. I know you guys are using it well.
Yeah, the field house for us, the Lee Field House, has been a great addition to our school district. It gives us a lot of extra space for practices. Having the gymnasium being your only practice facility, besides having like a smaller middle school gym and smaller elementary school gym. So it was a nice addition that, that coaches weren't arguing over practice space and stuff, so that's helped out a lot.
That's never happened before,
No,
right?
No, very minimal, very minimal.
I think that's part of like what you have to do as an athletic director, right? You got to try to keep so many different people happy, which can't be an easy task either.
It gets tough at times, but, I understand where they're coming from also because they're, advocating for the program and getting practice and stuff in. So, everybody gets along and, no problems usually.
Now, I'm trying to remember, what year is it you're on now as athletic director at Newcomerstown?
I'm going into my sixth year.
Sixth year, okay. Because I remember when we first kind of started talking, when we were doing more Newcomerstown stuff, doing more coverage with Big Z Sports, I think you had been relatively new to that position. Now, 6 years into it, what have you learned already in that 6-year span?
Well, what I've learned is nothing's the same every year, even though you go through the same checklist and stuff like that. Every year is something different. There's always something that, something pops up or, something breaks down or so it's just, always on my toes, with different things. I never want to get comfortable in my position,
Yeah, and one thing I know an athletic director relies a lot on is other coaches who are out of season and volunteers like parents to help make other sporting events go smooth. And I know there's two events I've always enjoyed coming down to Newcomerstown for is the IVC track meet and your big cross-country race. I mean, you have a lot of people who volunteered, and it's do a real nice job with that down there.
Yeah, I mean, no athletic department can run smoothly without the volunteers that we have in our community. So I appreciate every single volunteer that helps me out on a daily basis. Like I said, I think I said this last time I interviewed, but I feel like I'm bugging those people a lot of times, but I count on them to make the sports run at Newcomerstown. If we don't have the volunteers, we can't make it happen.
Now, before we get into all the athletics that are going on, something I definitely wanted to ask with football, that's kind of cool considering you said you've been there for 6 years. You have kind of been there to see the rise of the Trojans in terms of football. There have been some years of struggle. Now you guys, have had many successful years back to back to back. How nice has that been to see? I know the Newcomerstown community is so excited around the football team.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great that we've improved each year that I've been here. Having the first home playoff game, first playoff win in school history. Back when I played, they took the top 4 teams out of each. So it's been nice for our community playing into week 11, week 12. Hopefully we can get to week 13 this year. I mean, that's the goal. I think that's Coach Gadd's goal every year is to continue further into the playoffs.
Shannon?
Yeah, Coach. And so let's move on into the other athletics now. You got volleyball going on right now. You got cross-country season. golf season. So how are the other sports programs doing right now in the fall here?
I'm really happy with the way all of our sports are going for the fall. We have a huge volleyball program. Coach Collins has done a great job building that program. We have a freshman team, JV team, varsity team. So we got a lot of girls out, big group with the 7th grade, 8th grade volleyball. We've had two golf teams this year, which is the first time since I've been here that we've had 2 golf teams. Cross country, I think we got more kids out now for cross country than we had since I've been here. Football this week, we're playing some JV football games this year. So I mean, we got more kids out for sports right now, and I think it's just because we got good coaches in place. They're doing a good job with our kids, and our kids are excited to play.
I think that's definitely a testament to the people who are in place trying to, inspire these kids to want to come out and do this, and it's great to see for the Trojans. Taking a look next week, I know it's Bellsville, and I know you guys are happy. You don't have to go all the way down to Bellsville territory this time to play.
Yeah, if you've never been to Bellsville, that's there's no straight way to get there.
No.
So, yeah, I think
it's
last
up,
year.
It's down, it's left, it's right.
Last year, the time our kids got there, I think a lot of them are bus sick from those windy roads to get there. But so it's always nice when we don't have to travel there to play them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coach, and it's got to make it a lot easier on you since you're the one that schedules the bus, because I'm sure there's not too many bus drivers lining up for a Friday night for a trip to Bellsville.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes, depending on where we go, I get a lot of dirty looks on why'd we schedule these guys? I mean, this is but no, I don't really hear anybody complain about trips. We travel well. Our fans travel well. We was down at Burn Union last week, and I looked at our side on our stands, and I think we had just as many people as they did. I mean, we travel really well.
Is there anything planned for this week's home opener? Any youth nights or anything like that going on?
They got a youth cheer night this Friday night, so our youth cheerleaders will be out there. Our cheerleaders will be leading them in the first quarter, and I think that's basically what we got going on in the first home game.
And that's a pretty big thing for those little kids when they get to go out on that football field and see all those fans up there. They get pretty excited about that.
They go out and track and cheer in front of our stands, and we got a large home side, we got large stands, so they're excited about that.
Now, something that a lot of people probably wouldn't think about, and we actually talked about it a little bit before we even started here, you obviously have to work closely with maintenance crews and stuff, making sure stadiums and facilities are ready to go. It's been a bad summer to try to make sure that you guys still having that natural grass surface is ready to go.
Right, yeah. We've done a few tweaks with our football field, with our grass. We've had a couple guys come in and help us, and trying to get the grass shorter and thicken up a little bit. But this past week we had some problems with some grubs on it. So our grounds guy Ryan Stevens, he's done a great job. He's this is basically his first full year as a groundskeeper. So he's done a good job. We've got guys coming in and reseeding it and trying to get it ready for Friday.
Yeah, well, we always, and Shannon and I both, we don't really.
For some reason, everybody's going turf, and then the state says you got to have a turf game or turf field to host neutral games and all that stuff. So your hands are kind of turned, and one of these days there's going to be in my opinion, there's going to be a big flip to everybody wanting to go back to grass because of the injury side. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, unless someone's got $800,000 or $1 million laying around to help us, provide a turf field, we're going to stay with grass.
You hear that? If you're watching right now and that sounds like right up your alley, we can give you his email address after we get done with this.
Well, the second $1 million. The first $1 million, I got other improvements.
Right. Yeah. We'll work on some other fields also.
Now, I got to ask a little bit outside of just the athletic director duties and the time of year with football season and everything. College football is coming up. Mm-hmm. Buckeyes fan, right?
Okay, big Buckeyes fan. Yep. Looking forward to Saturday and their game against Akron. Although I don't know if it's going to be much of a game, but still excited that they're back.
There will be a game played. We just can't tell you how bad the score is going to be.
Right.
We'll find out.
I'm not going to make a prediction on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Shannon?
Yeah, and you got your athletes sitting out here right now, and that's a good group of kids right there. Is there any of them that you can tell is a little secret that we can ask one of them when they come up here? And any dirt on any of those kids so we can try to embarrass them in front of their parents when they come up here?
Oh, you see, Coach Gadd thinks he's trying to intimidate me, but he's not.
What he's trying to say is no.
I got a bunch of secrets on that guy. I don't have any secrets on the players. No.
So that'll have to be a separate podcast.
That'll be a separate podcast. We could do probably a month's worth of podcasts on that. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep that in mind. Maybe something even newer coming to Big Z Sports. Well, Chad, so great to have you on here again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me. having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And, of course, any questions related to those donations, we'll make sure to post afterwards his personal information on that donation, right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Stick around for more of your Extra Point show built by the Keim Home Center live here from the Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky. When we return, we'll be talking with head coach Dirk Gadd with the Newcomerstown Trojans. Stick around here on the Big Z Sports YouTube channel.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Welcome back to the Extra Point show built by the Keim Home Center. We're having too much fun in between breaks here. We are live from the Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky. Nick McWilliams, Shannon Thomas, now being joined by head football coach Dirk Gadd. Coach, always great to have you in here and talk some Newcomerstown football. And I know I was trying to think, as I asked Mr. Elliott how many years he'd been doing it. He said 6 years as athletic director. How many years have you been the coach now?
This is my 8th season.
8th season, okay. I was going to get that totally wrong.
Yeah, and Coach, a lot of people probably didn't get to see the Hall of Fame thing, and I know Nick wasn't there, but I was there to watch it. And one thing that you talked about up there was the growth in your program over those 8 years, and you pretty much just said it all started in the weight room.
It did start in the weight room. You know, when I was learning, coaching's always a learning process, but I was trying to learn from the guys that have been successful, and in coaches' clinics and things, you always hear them talk about, things changed here when we got better in the weight room. And so we made that a focus, and, I kind of was put my belief in that would change things around here, and sure enough, things have started to roll in the right direction ever since we've gotten stronger in the weight room.
Something that's interesting from that is, pardon me, sometimes you see with teams who, kids might not be so confident in a situation, whether it be walking in here to be on camera or walking onto a practice field, they might not look the part. They might not look like they had that confidence. It always seems every time I see the Trojans, they carry themselves with that confidence, and that has to be a good feeling too.
Yeah, with strength comes confidence. That the way they carry themselves, it not just, here, but when they're on the football field, that confidence helps us with our tackling and our physicality. So, the weight room has really brought, our confidence up a lot, because it wasn't like that when we started out. We didn't necessarily look the part. We had a few kids, but as a total program, we had a long way to go in the strength department.
What'll help in that strength department is some of these wings from Olde Towne Tavern, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're already wanting to take food home, so...
They're going to take food home. You know that, Coach. You know that.
And one of those things about that weight room is when you first started out, it just like 6 kids show up for weightlifting, and then those 6 kids start getting better, then it just kind of bleeds down, and then it bleeds into your middle school program, and then that's a big part of it right there.
Yeah, I would pick kids up and take kids home from weightlifting all the time just to get them there. There were days we had, we started with morning weightliftings, and I'd get a handful of kids in the weight room at that time, and I was on the phone calling every day trying to get more kids in there, and it at times seemed like an uphill battle, but we just kept with it, stuck with it, kept believing in it. Next thing you know, we got more kids, and now it's part of the culture, and the kids, I don't have to make those phone calls because they know that they're expected to be in there and they want to be in there.
Or their mom walks in and be like, aren't you supposed to be at weightlifting this morning?
Well, I just did away with morning weightlifting. That also helped.
Well, I know the old adage is, winning leads to more winning, but I think it's the winning attitude leads to more winnings. And I think that was something that was huge when you came in. You wanted to make sure that they felt like they had that ability to go out there and win games.
Yeah, that first win was elusive for sure. We lost 20 straight games starting out. Our first year, I think all but one game was a running clock. The second year, just, we needed something to keep us going. And the nice thing about that second year was we made strides, and we were actually in some games that second year. So we started to see the process playing out. And finally, opening game, my third season against Fairfield Christian Academy, we got that first win.
Coach, and that's what you said. You lost those first 20, and then you got one. And now you and your coaches have built a program along with the hard work of the kids to where now when those schedules come out, everybody looks at your games and be like, that's no easy task. Like, Newcomerstown is a different team than they were 10 years ago. And we better be ready to play or we'll get smacked in the mouth.
Yeah, we show up ready to play every day. I know there probably was a time when teams saw us on the schedule and that was a win. But we're gonna give them everything we have. I feel like we're a very talented football team right now. We're a very veteran football team, hardworking, mature. I was just telling Mr. Elliott, and I think I told you guys earlier, as hot as it has been all week, I haven't heard any whining or complaining about at practice time, and that just kind of shows the maturity that our team is starting to get.
Now, I want to ask specifically about your offense and your defense coming up, but I will tell everybody out there who's watching, we had to give a hard time for – it was great that they brought the helmet because we wanted to have something new here where we kind of display who we're talking to, obviously. But I had to give the guys a hard time when they walked in because I said, man, that's an awfully clean helmet after it going through a week, but tell everybody why that's the case.
Yeah, that's our kicker's helmet. It's actually the only one – well, there's a couple of them right now. We have more kids than we expected to have at this point, but so we have a couple that don't have Guardian caps yet, but his was one that didn't have a cap on it. He hopefully doesn't take too many shots to the head being the kicker. So
well, he's a smart kid because he said, well, I guess if mine was scuffed up, we'd be having problems.
That is very true. I would not be happy at all if he had scuffs on his helmet.
The special teams coach would be upset if he's the one making the tackle.
Yes, that is very true.
We hope we didn't try to influence him to do anything like that. Well, Coach, I want to start off actually with your defense because we've talked so many times about your offense that it is a little bit different than what a lot of people are used to seeing. But defensively, I think something that has definitely been an MO for Trojans defense over the past few years, it's 11 caps to the ball at all times whenever you can make that happen.
Yeah, we work on that weekly. We do pursuit drill. We're big on like 2 whistles, getting everybody to the football. I preach it. I probably say, 100 times a week, get to the ball. They hear it. And in our first game, I thought we did a good job of that. When we're watching film, that's always one thing I look for is did everybody get to the football? And they know that's the expectation. They've taken a lot of pride in getting to the football. And with what we're doing defensively this year, it's important no matter what defense you're running. But with what we're doing, it is very important that we get 11 kids to the football.
Yeah, Coach, and one thing I've noticed, probably maybe from 5 years ago to a game that I seen last year defensively, how much better your kids are at wrapping up and tackling and taking the right angle to get to the ball instead of chasing the ball carrier. They're taking that right angle. Like you said, everybody's getting there, and tackling is the biggest thing. Instead of trying to run through somebody, wrap him up.
Yep, we've added some things, leveraging the hip drills, those types of things that have helped our kids take good angles to the football. We were overrunning a lot of stuff there early on, and we've gotten better at taking angles. tackling something I think every coach would say, we need to get better at it. It's something we constantly work on. There's a fine line with the tackling thing, with keeping kids healthy, and you juggle that, how live do we actually do this? So that's something that, is a constant battle for us as far as, how physical do we want this to be? But there's all kinds of drills, and football's come so far these days that we try to do things to keep kids healthy, yet still teach them the fundamentals of tackling.
And we did here at the Hall of Fame thing, probably the longest tenured coach in our area, a veteran coach. I won't say his name, but he said they haven't made one tackle yet into it.
It may or may not be, but I feel like I should have better control of that. Anytime a kid gets hurt, I reevaluate, what could we have done differently to prevent that? And I think I see that, we're lacking in the physicality and the tackling department. We'll just keep being safe and doing what we do.
That's interesting you bring that up. That's actually an approach you see a lot of college teams, just trying not to get, you don't need necessarily the extra physical contact for no reason.
Right. Staying up is a big thing. I feel like anytime a kid's on the ground, bad stuff happens. So, and I watch the games, and it doesn't look like it's almost like they come out really ready to hit somebody and take somebody to the ground since they had entering. But no, we have a 2-minute offense. We do some 2x2 stuff, but we run the football, and we preach blocking. Football comes down. Somebody once told me football comes down to 3 things, and that's blocking, tackling, and scheduling is the last one. So we work a lot of blocking, and we work a lot of tackling. Every kid on our team blocks our backs. I think a big part of our success is how well they block for each other. But we like to run the football, and we'll sneak in a pass occasionally. Sometimes Coach Baker sneaks one in too much. But we like to run the ball. We like what we do. We are trying to expand on what we do a little bit, but still we have our base things that we do.
Well, it's funny if anyone would look at the stat line from your passing and they'd go, no, they got to pass more. But to your point that you've always said, whenever we run into that situation, it's actually your running that helps out so much with that leads to those passes being that good.
When we do throw the ball, it usually goes for big yards because it's unexpected. So
it's live, by the way, folks. That's why that went out. But anyway.
And Coach, and like you said, every football program just wants to run the ball. I mean, there's coaches come out and say, well, I like to throw the ball. But deep down inside, when that running game is working, everything else becomes easier. And you guys have done a phenomenal job the last couple of years with multiple backs that can get the job done.
Yeah, I feel like running the football makes us better defensively. And I think it's because of the physicality of our offense, which carries over to the defensive side of the ball. Also, it helps us to practice against our offense because – it's a physical downhill offense, so I think that helps us, get better on the defensive side of the football as well.
Now, I wanted to talk about your offensive line. We know we got Spencer here, somebody who features on your offensive line, but you guys returned a lot of the players that you had from last year, correct?
We returned everybody but one person up front on our line. So we got, Logan Metz is back with us. He's a junior. Ethan Swaggart, our center, he's a senior. Martin Hernandez, he's only a sophomore. He's got a really bright future.
You still can't convince me that kid's a sophomore.
He's a very big, strong sophomore, the strongest kid on our football team. Our tight ends, Austin's back, Tanner's back. So we got everybody back up front. We added Levi McCown. He actually came here from Gareway. He's been playing for us and doing a really good job. So we really rely on our guys up front.
And let there be light once again. Shannon.
Yeah, and Coach, I mean, that's a big plus when you got that many linemen back who already know what they're doing. You just got to fine-tune their technique. I mean, that's got to make you happy as a coach.
Yeah, we preach technique all the time. I tell the kids that, I tell our older kids when they're watching the younger kids, I said, I can find something that somebody does wrong on every single play. So I want those guys to help coach those younger guys up, and they do a great job of that. But, we preach doing the little things right. Just today, we do Trojan Jacks just to get started in our warm-ups, and they do it over until we do it right. If I don't hear one single person saying it, it was impossible to win So, all the things we've done that have been first in the history of our school, I didn't know how many we'd win, let alone, host the first playoff game in the history of the school, have multiple back-to-back playoff appearances, win our first playoff game, win our first IVC North title. A lot of firsts for our program. I never would have imagined.
Coach, like I said, winning all that stuff, and now every year when we all sit down, we got to look at our schedule, what games we're going to go to, and then you're in the conversation for IVC North champion every year. I mean, it's like, who's it going to be? And it's going Newcomerstown, Mount. Like, you guys are up there. Like, what you have done did a phenomenal job down there.
Yeah, we have great coaches. We have great kids. The kids have bought into things. I wouldn't. We wouldn't have had the success without the coaching staff that we have. Coach Baker, he does a great job. He's an ex-head coach and kind of mentored me as I was learning the ropes of being a head football coach, which there's so much about being a head coach that you just never know until you are one. And there were times where he talked me off the ledge where I was going to do something that was really stupid, and he's like, that's not a good idea, Coach. So, I think like every new coach needs that guy there that they can count on, and Coach Baker's been that guy for me. Now,
I know you're probably going to hate this question, but what do you know about Bellsville? I know it's a team you guys have played many times.
Yeah, I know they're big. They're very big. They were big last year. They played us in a way tougher game than we wanted last year. I think
you were down in their ballpark, though.
We were in Bellsville. I think it was 28-0 is what the score ended up. But they were very physical, and they gave us, like I said, way more of a football game than we wanted. They're still big this year. I don't know if they're as veteran of a team as they were last year. But, I tell the kids, it doesn't matter who we're going up against. Every single week, if we're going to reach our goals, we have to get better. So that's what we're focusing on.
And that's something, too. I mean, you mentioned about all the players that you had back. With that ability, after having a successful year and having that amount of players back, how much do you actually have to remind the guys about that exact notion about getting better each day?
It's a daily thing. I don't know if I have to remind them that much, but I know how important it is. And I know that, if we're going to reach our goals, that stuff has to happen. So I doubt that they forget it, but I don't let them, even if they would. So, getting better every single week, getting better every single practice, which it's hard to be better every single day in practice than you were the day before. Everybody has bad days. But we want to make sure we make gains week to week.
Yeah, Coach, looking out there, that's a very veteran group sitting right there at that table for you. And it's always nice to have a veteran come back, but to have kids like that will work hard, and they become your coaches on the football field, and they seem to do a very good job at it.
Yeah, and that's a lot of that's a credit to their parents. Their parents have done a really good job with those kids. They're just quality kids that you would trust your kids with. I'm lucky to have them. I'm honored to be their coach. We'll miss them for sure. They're all seniors. All the guys that are here tonight are seniors. We'll miss them, but they've made a huge impact on Trojan football.
Without a doubt, Coach. Well, thank you so much for your time, as always. We look forward to being in Newcomerstown in Trojan territory here before too long with our coverage. And, outside of the stringer work, obviously, which I think you know the stringer rather well this year.
Yeah,
right?
I know Zeb. He's down there. I see him all the time. Good guy.
I'm surprised when he walked in you didn't go, oh, great, that's who they sent down here.
No, not at all. Zeb is a great guy. He's, working hard with our basketball program, so I look for good things out of them, too.
So Zeb's down there stringing for us and recruiting basketball players on his sideline at the same time.
Hey, we'd like our kids to play multiple sports, so I'm all for that.
And Adam Sweski's trying to tell us he wants to see more passing once again. So
that same thing the crowd says every night. Luckily, I can't hear it because I have headphones on.
They'll tell you to pass the ball more, yet you'll finish the game with 300 yards on the ground. And can't quite figure it out.
It's a sneaky passing yardage that we end up with.
Fair enough.
They like it when the clock keeps running so they can go home early, but when they start passing the ball and don't get home till 10, then they'll be complaining that you throw the ball too much.
You can't win sometimes. Well, we look forward to seeing more from the Trojans this year. Thank you so much, as always, for your time.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Head coach Dirk Gadd for the Newcomerstown Trojans right here from Olde Towne Tavern in Tusky. The Extra Point Show always brought to you by the Keim Home Center this season. Stay tuned because when we return, We got some familiar faces for Trojan football fans. You're locked in with Big Z Sports on our YouTube channel.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tuscarawas offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Big Z Sports back with our first edition of the Extra Point Show here during the 2024 high school football season, brought to you by the Keim Home Center. We are live from Tuscarawas in the Olde Towne Tavern. We got some familiar faces for Trojan football fans, and their teammates are already trying to get them to laugh. You guys are going to pay for that later, just so you know, from these two, Nick McWilliams and Shannon Thomas. And joining us, actually, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are, your year, and what position you play.
My name's Clayton Fish. I'm a quarterback, and I'm in senior year.
My name is Spencer Eversbach. I'm a senior, and I'm a right tackle.
So we understand that all you guys are seniors who came out here, captains of the football team. I know that has to be a pretty cool honor to get, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure to earn that spot. I mean, we've worked hard for it, so.
He's like I'm the right tackle, man. I let my quarterback do the talking.
So coming into this season, you guys are all captains sitting here.
He'll just he'll go crazy. I don't. It's kind of hard to explain.
So once he gets mad, do you just keep picking at him?
I guess Spencer tries to.
Now wait a minute. What do you do to try to get under his skin a little bit?
I don't really do much, honestly. I just tease him about a bunch of things.
Well, you might line up because I know he plays defense too, so you probably have to block him sometimes during practice.
Yes, I do sometimes.
Oh, I'm
Not
sure
all
that
the time.
goes over. I'm sure I can see where that could end up causing that.
Yeah, it definitely does sometimes.
Shannon?
So, Spencer, outside of football, what other sports do you do?
I do track. I do. Yeah, that's about it. I just do track. I do shot put and disc, and honestly, that's probably my favorite sport. So yeah.
We'll make sure Coach Gadd doesn't hear that. All right. Clayton, what about you? Basketball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, basketball, and I run track. So.
Now, you guys, there's a lot of I shouldn't say a lot. There are some coaches who aren't necessarily always a huge fan of their athletes playing multiple sports, but it seems like you guys definitely are on the different spectrum. You want to play that a lot of sports.
All the sports kind of get us in shape, and just, they teach us different core values and all that. So we definitely encourage to play multiple sports for each of our athletes.
So what do you like to do outside of sports other than, you hang out with your friends, you got a job, you do anything like that?
Yeah, well, I work at a farm that's kind of down my road, which kind of sucks because after practice I'll have to bale hay or something.
Are you looking for another job? I could use a hand.
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Thanks, though. And, yeah, I like to fish, too. So.
What about you, Spencer? What do you like to do outside of athletics in school?
I like to ride my foiler, and I like to hunt and fish, and I love riding foilers is definitely my favorite for sure. But for my jobs, I have a part-time job at my family business. It's an oil field, and then another part-time job at a pig barn with one of my teachers.
So we talk all the time then, Shannon, about the difference between weight room strong or gym strong and farm strong.
Farm kids.
So now you know that the proof is in the pudding right now then.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask for sure, and don't worry, you're not going to make him upset, but considering it's a hot week of practice, you guys, you're going to have to deal with it on Friday night too. It's going to be a hot day there as well. I was surprised, though, because we were joking with Coach Gadd about, they're going to be so tired when they come in. You just practice before this. You guys seem really upbeat. So even when it's hot like this, it's still fun for you?
Yeah, I mean, even at Camp Zimmerman, I feel like that's, when we grew the most because we had to go up on this, 30-foot hill, and the sun was just beaming down on us. And this flat, that place was so bad. And then, so we're kind of used to all that heat, and we were out in pads this all week, so we've been ready.
Yeah, we have a church camp out there at Camp Zimmerman, so I know all about that hill, and I'm not a fan of that hill myself.
You don't run it, Shannon? Are you serious?
I say, hey, bring that gator over here. I need a ride up that hill.
So you guys started off the year with a win. I know that has to make you really, really happy.
Uh-huh.
You guys, thankfully, Newcomerstown had struggled for a lot of years, but you guys now, as this senior class, you've really enjoyed a lot of success over the past few years. It has to feel good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've put in a lot of work. We've been with the same guys for forever, since third grade. And, yeah, I think we're all just reliant on each other. Yeah, we all keep each other accountable, so we're starting to see success with that.
And Spencer, for you on the offensive line, I know the joke is the offensive linemen don't get enough credit sometimes. Yeah. Did you see the new award that we're giving away now?
No.
We're actually giving away each week an Offensive Line of the Week award. First one went to Harrison Central, but you have to let everybody else know on the line that there's a pancake award that's coming out.
Oh, really? I might be getting that.
How many? So now he's going to be trying to serve out pancakes all next week.
I think I had 10 or 15 pancakes last game, something like that.
We'll have to tell Adam that. Yeah. We'll keep track.
It was pretty easy.
Well, I mean, we'll bring the award. If you win it, we'll bring the award, but you might have to get your quarterback to cook pancakes for breakfast that week.
I would love that.
Now, I do have to ask, too, and I know that your teammates were insistent on you two being the first two to come up here. I mean, realistically, on a football field, you are without a doubt one of his best friends.
Yeah.
But also, you have to place a lot of trust in your line as well. You guys have no problem with that, right? Because I always see that camaraderie between the Trojans, it seems. Shannon?
Yes, guys. So we'll go back to trying to find a little bit more out about your personal life here and let everybody in Trojan country know who you are. And so what are you planning to do? Since you're a senior, what are you planning to do after you graduate?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't decided, but I'm going to go to college for exercise science. I haven't fully decided what college I want to go to, though.
Spencer, what's your plans?
I'm planning on going on to Provia, and that's where my brother goes. But if that doesn't work out, I'll go work with my family business.
Always good to have, any option in place for sure, or multiple options, I should say. Outside of that, you guys already talked about your hobbies. You talked about the other sports you play. We're going to shift gears to favorite sports teams, maybe. College football season's coming up this weekend. Favorite college team?
If it happens to be that team up north, just say I plead the fifth. That way we don't knock you.
I'm Buckeyes Nation, so we're actually going to go to one of their season opener. Coach Gadd is buying us tickets, so I think it's 7 of us, but we're going to see that game against Akron.
Have you ever been to a game in the shoe?
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay.
I've been there before. It's quite the experience.
I don't know how much of a game it'll be, but, outside of that. Favorite college team, Spencer?
Mine's Ohio State, but I don't really watch football very much.
Okay, I got you.
So, but if I did have to pick, it's Ohio State all day.
All right, good.
So when you're sitting in front of the TV, what do you watch?
Just a bunch of cartoons. I like SpongeBob.
Hey, I'm a Flintstones guy. Anybody even know who Flintstones are?
I'm sure he does. Come on.
Yes.
Shannon's kind of like our Fred Flintstone, I would
That's right.
say. Yeah. And maybe other sports. You guys watch any, basketball, baseball, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm kind of into March Madness.
Okay.
I'll make my bracket for that, but professionally, like the NBA, I don't really watch that, but college I'll try to keep track of. That's about it.
I used to watch baseball. I used to watch the Guardians. I think that's what they're called now.
Yeah, we'll just stick with the Indians.
Yeah, the Indians. I haven't watched them for a long, long time, but I used to watch them, and that's about it.
As for the school side of this, because you guys are student athletes, any favorite subjects in school?
I think history is definitely my favorite, for sure. But I struggle in all the other classes, but history is definitely the easiest.
Hey, that's a feasible answer for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to say history too.
It's amazing how often we get history as the answer.
Well,
Yeah, it's
usually it's study hall or lunchtime.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The funny thing is also the joke is about how many social studies teachers are football coaches, which tends to help for
Yeah,
football
that is
players
true.
as well. Shannon, you
All
got
right.
some?
Yeah, well, since you guys are seniors now and you will be graduating, looking all the way back from kindergarten to this year, is there somebody in your school district as a teacher or an administrator or anything like that has made an impact on your life where you can look back and say, you know what, my second grade teacher, Mrs. Hill, she was an outstanding person. Is there somebody along those lines that you can think of off the top of your head that maybe left an impact on you?
Yeah, I'd have to say, Tyler Kiner's his name, but he was my 8th grade English teacher. He was also a football coach, and he just really helped me out developing my quarterback skills and just overall, he's a great guy.
What about you, Spencer?
Mine used to be Coach Coughlin. I didn't really get to play with him, but I was a water boy for high school when I was in, what grade was that? 6th grade? 6th grade, and he was just a really nice guy, but now he goes to New Philly. So, yeah.
Trying to think, anything else we can ask him about school? No one likes to answer those questions, but
Well, first of all, you got to make sure before we go off here, if you got to say hi,
yeah.
you got to say hi to your mom and dad, or anybody in your family that you need to say hi to. That way, and if you got a girlfriend, this is your chance right here.
Hey, babe. Hi, Mom and Dad. Hey, Corb.
Hi, Mom and Dad. I don't have a girlfriend, so I'm not going to shout her out.
see, I don't know.
Well, one thing I have noticed this year about Mr. Fish is he's got his hair cut a little bit more this year. He don't have that big mop up there flopping around. And
I tried it. It feels better in the helmet now. So.
It probably helps the your equipment managers fit a better helmet
Yeah.
anyway. And I know I had to give your kicker such a hard time with the non-scuffs on the helmets. I'm not even going to ask Spencer about how clean his helmet is because I know better than that, him on the line. Yours, hopefully, well, you guys you run sometimes, so
Yeah.
yours might not be so.
It's relatively clean. I think I've only got hit like once or twice. I mostly get it on defense, if anything.
Yeah. Well, Coach Gadd's going to hope for the offensive side that it stays
Yeah.
clean for sure. Shannon, you got anything else?
Well, one more for Clayton. Is he going to let you throw it a little bit more this year? we asked him, so you know what his answer is. Are you going to work on him?
Yeah, we're trying. I'm talking to Coach Baker about it in our win every period, which is like our homeroom kinda. So we're trying.
Well, keep that in mind. Something tells me I think Coach Gadd's going to win on this again. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Spencer Ebersbach and Clayton Fish for the Newcomerstown Trojans. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time. Good luck to you the rest of the season. We'll be seeing you soon. Stay tuned with the Big Z Sports Extra Point Show brought to you by the Keim Home Center. Stick around because we got more Trojans athletes coming up right after this.
Olde Towne Tavern in Tuscarawas offers you a menu full of choices, all cooked in their wood stone brick oven over an open flame, which provides layers of flavor to each dish served. Taste the difference with the pizza, sandwich, brick oven pasta, and the popular choices of steak or chicken. Olde Towne Tavern is open Wednesday and Thursday, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 1 a.m. To see all Olde Towne Tavern has to offer, find them on Facebook.
In the rolling hills of Holmes County, we tend to do things a bit differently. At Keim, we're in the business of uncommon experiences, and we're here to care for your project like we care for our own. We believe that quality matters and want to help you get it right the first time, because your project deserves it. So visit Keim Home Center, your source and destination for all things home, building, and woodworking. Keim, built on trust since 1911.
Welcome back in one final time from Olde Towne Tavern here in Tuscarawas for the Big Z Sports Extra Point Show, brought to you this season by the Keim Home Center. Nick McWilliams with Shannon Thomas behind the camera now. I think Shannon's stealing what food I was going to try to get off that table, but oh well, nevertheless. We got more Newcomerstown athletes sitting up here, and you guys got to go through the same spiel, of course. Go ahead and just say your name, your year, and what positions you play for Newcomerstown.
Carter McConnell, 2025, and I'm a fullback and middle linebacker.
Austin Smith, I'm a 2025, and I play tight end and safety.
I'm Ethan Foster. I'm a senior. I play kicker and punter.
I got to apologize to Ethan, too, because he's the one I was ragging on about the helmet not having marks. But I know Coach Gadd was happy about that.
Yeah, it's usually a good thing when your kicker doesn't have missing paint on his helmet.
Not a bad idea at all, for sure. Guys, looking at this senior season, I asked your teammates there that, you guys, before you got up here, there were some struggles. There were some rough years for Newcomerstown football. That's not been the case in recent years. I know how much you guys have had success recently. It's got to feel good.
Yeah.
I was going to say whoever wants to answer.
I don't know about Austin, but me and Ethan's freshman year was a part of those not very good days of Trojan football, but we definitely picked it up the past, 2 years, 3 years?
It was really
Hopefully
painful
3
that
years,
first year.
We'll see.
Hey, you can be honest about that. That's all right. You guys have really had a lot of success recently. I'll start off first with Carter. You were somebody that whenever we would come to Newcomerstown games, we would always ask, who in the world is that 32 who's flying around the field? You just seem like you have a lot of fun playing football.
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite sport. I just try and give it as hard as I can do. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say.
Now, I know you can kind of be a little bit of a do-it-all kind of player for Newcomerstown, too. We've seen you in some different positions. What's your favorite, though, lining up in the backfield or lining up in the box?
It's tough. It depends on the game. A lot of times I like defense just because I get the opportunity to hit more. I mean, you're not really supposed to hit people when you're running the ball, but I still do it. But I like defense. I like making big plays on the ball. I like making big hits. It's more fun.
Well, it's more fun to dish out the punishment than receive it. That's what it's got to be. Austin, how about for you? Favorite part maybe of football, maybe favorite position you've played?
I mean, I like playing safety more. When we throw the ball, I mean, I like lining up and receiving it, but we all know that's once in a blue moon. So,
so you like being more the ball hawk, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now, Ethan, I'm not going to give you a hard time. What's more fun, punting or kicking?
It's got to be kicking. I'm actually good at kicking. I don't really know what I'm doing with punting. I just kind of throw the ball out there and kick it. Sometimes it goes far. Most of the time it doesn't. But
that's all I would do, though, to be honest with you. Have you always, when you've been playing football, have you always been kind of a kicking specialist?
Yeah, I have. Since my freshman year, I've pretty much exclusively done kicking. My first 2 years, I did some stuff outside of kicking, and then I broke my collarbone, and coach let me off the hook. So.
Makes sense. Austin, I'll ask you this. With that success you said about loving to go out there and catch passes, which you guys don't always do a whole bunch of, but there's got to be a lot of satisfaction, too, when you throw a nice block on the outside, too.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, they get called back a lot because we like to hold. But
you're not supposed to say that. Look, you on offense, you're supposed to say there's no holding on any play ever, right? You guys have perfect blocks.
Yeah.
Carter, for you too. I can't remember. We had a game of your guys' last year. I know you had a big play. I know it was probably a forced fumble, maybe a fumble recovery. It was something. I'm not sure on the whole spiel of exactly what it was. But you got so excited, not just for yourself, but you went up and down the sideline for your team. Is that what you try to do? Try to get everybody going?
Yeah, I mean, I want everybody to have fun, not just myself. And when your whole team's having fun, your team just plays so much better. If nobody's having fun, everybody has their head down, like it's not fun. And you don't play good if you're not having fun.
And we'll just go down the line, starting over here and back again. You guys, as I mentioned, you already talked about your freshman year being a rough year, but now having this success. You guys have been a part of a lot of history for Newcomerstown now when it comes to playoff games and stuff. How is that still something that is kind of a surreal thing for you to realize, wow, we were like the first to do this. We were the team that did that.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy, like, thinking that hasn't been done before, but, like, I just feel like we've always been good. We've always played good together, so I just kind of feel like kind of natural to us. So
remember that confidence I was talking about with Coach Gadd about? That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Anything that you guys are looking forward to the most this senior season with this last go-round?
I think we're all looking forward to that Malvern game.
Okay.
I'm hoping to get a home playoff game again. We had one 2 years ago. I mean, and that didn't really end how we wanted it to.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping to get one, at least one for our last time around at least. And I think that would be a lot of fun. I want to get a big crowd in there.
Oh, if you guys get another home playoff game, it's going to be standing room only. I can guarantee that. Ethan, for you as well, anything that you're looking forward to most this season?
I'm hoping that we blow a lot of teams out so I can boost my stats with lots of kicks.
I love that answer, too. So we'll go through the other same spiel that we did with these guys. Any favorite subjects in school? Because you are student athletes. You got to do the student part. Anything that you like sitting in class for?
Probably history.
Communications. It's really easy. Just talking.
See, I like that answer too.
You want to tell them why you chose that, Austin, or is it the pretty girls in there? Or?
No.
I was going to say, is it going to get him in trouble? But
I mean, for me, I think anything science related. I like to think about physics and stars and astronomy, that sort of thing. I like that.
That is an answer that you do get from a kicker. That is for sure.
That's why they have me on the team. I'm here to boost the GPA. Right?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Any other sports you guys play? I know I've seen your names with other sports, so we'll start over here with Carter.
I wrestle.
I run track.
Basketball and track.
Yep. See, I would have had those all right for once, which I normally never get that right, which is funny. Any favorite memories maybe from the last couple years of school, of being in high school?
Definitely that Malvern game 2 years ago, that double overtime win.
What do you mean double? It was like 4 overtimes.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a pretty awesome game. I know a lot of people said that was the best football game they've ever watched in their life period, and that was especially a really fun game to play in.
I can tell you, being in college at Ohio State, I got to go to the football games, and there was obviously crazy moments with that. Yeah. Still have never seen anything like your guys' game against Malvern, without a doubt. How about you, Austin?
Definitely that home playoff game. That was a nice crowd, nice environment. I mean, sad it didn't go the way we wanted it to, but it was crazy to play in, and first time in school history. So
I feel like I can't steal your answers here, so I'm going to go with the Grandview Heights playoff game. I got to kick the game winner there, and that was pretty cool.
That's a great memory for sure. I don't know how the OHSAA does this. Do you get to keep a game ball potentially?
I did not get any ball, unfortunately.
That would have been nice. I don't know if you guys can actually do that or not, truthfully. Anything in terms of hobbies outside of sports, obviously, first and foremost?
I like to work out a lot and go fishing, hang out with friends, stuff like that.
The answer of a wrestler. I like to work out a lot for sure.
Definitely fishing.
Okay.
Go to Clayton's house a lot.
Watch science and history videos. Is that a kicker answer?
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I also occasionally preach at youth group or local congregation. So.
Oh, okay, awesome.
You might find me there.
Yeah, awesome. Let me think. Oh, Shannon Thomas had this question, and I'm sorry, this is Shannon's fault, not mine. If there's anybody you have to say hi, parents, family, whatever at home, or your girlfriend, now's your time.
Hi, Mom, and hi, Alyssa.
All right.
Hi, Mom.
Mom.
See? Easy as that. Well, I'm trying to think. Shannon, did I miss anything else? I think we got him into that question, so everything has to be great, right? He's just staring at me like, what are you doing? All right, well, that will do it for the Keim Home Center Extra Point Show for the Newcomerstown Trojans. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time, and we so look forward to seeing a lot more Trojans football this season, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Be sure to get subscribed to our YouTube channel. You get notified every single time we go live. Next Wednesday, we will be featuring another local high school team. And, of course, Friday night, we are your place to go for the most extensive high school football coverage in Z Country. For Shannon Thomas and Adam Saweski, a huge thank you to Olde Towne Tavern for hosting us, for some delicious food as well, and the Keim Home Center for presenting the Extra Point Show. We'll be back again in a high school or restaurant, I guess, near you soon.